Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you liked how to read my CD video. I hope that helps you in your notary streets, in your loan signing journey. I hope that it does. This is just my website. I don't have an opener. I didn't want to spoil what the next video was, but welcome to the first page of my website. And this video is going to be about how to read a note. So if you've never seen anything regarding loan signings at all, you've probably never seen this, or maybe you have because you are doing your Googles and you're doing your research, and shout out to you. I love that. If that's you and you're doing that, that's great stuff. But this is the note. So the CD and the note are things that I pull out of the package, and generally here it's needed for funding. So I pull those out anyway because though if I'm not scanning the whole package, I'm scanning the note, the CD, the mortgage, IDs, anywho. But these are the top two documents that are generally like needed for funding. So I pull them out to the front. If it's a signing service job, I do not pull these to the front. Well, I do, but I put them back. But in Jersey, when I'm doing signings here, like if they either like these documents to the top, or I'm asked to put them to the top, or I'm only asked to scan these documents if they don't need the whole package. So I usually pull these first. And in my experience with the CD and the note, if those two things are wrong, if you can't get anybody on the phone or not, the whole signing is moot. And sometimes these things can be towards the back of the package. And imagine signing for like 2 hours. Learn from my mistakes. Signing for 2 hours and you get to these two documents. Well, not 2 hours, but you know what I mean. You're there in the middle of the closing and you get to the CD and the note and something is wrong. It's moot. No one's answering their phone. And now the signing is not happening. And so imagine sitting there for that long. So I would say take a little, I have a smaller one, but you get my drift. Take a sticky note, mark the page for the note and the CD, bring them to the top, and go through those documents first. Because if these two documents are wrong and you can't get anyone on the phone, we can't reprint. If there are no other solutions, the signing is more than likely being squashed anyway. So I'm sure we would all rather know at the beginning of the appointment versus the middle or the end of the appointment that these documents are messed up. So I'm going to make sure the spellings of their names are correct, which their spellings of their names is not on here anyway. So nick that idea. But you're going to have the date, the city, I think, of the lender goes here. But all that will be filled in anyway, so don't worry about it. Hence why I don't know what goes there, because it doesn't matter. Because what I'm pointing to the buyer is going to be the borrower is right here. Is going to have their loan amount. So this is their loan amount. That with this, it's just their loan amount. It's going to be that same part on the CD where it says loan amount. That number should match here. And it's not going to be their mortgage payment, because their mortgage payment tends to include, depending on how it's structured, tends to include their taxes, HOA if that's applicable, and homeowners insurance. Those are usually within someone's mortgage payment. So this is just going to be the loan amount. And I point that. Please double check that that's the loan amount. Here we'll have their lender. Again, all this will be filled in. This is just a template for the sake of this video. And then I also tell them to point the interest rate. This is the interest rate, correct? And make sure, matches the CD. So that's why I pull them out together. I have the CD signed first. Then I usually pull out the note and the settlement statement. But we can go over the settlement statement next. So here I will then point out their interest rate. So double check your loan amount. Is that correct? Is your interest rate correct? Yes. Your first monthly payment right now, it is February 1st. So we're just going to pretend we are signing today. Their first mortgage payment is likely to be March 1st. And that's going to go there. And it's going to have like the due date of their payments. And all of those things will be filled in. And it's also going to have how much they're paying monthly. And remember, that's going to be the monthly payment of the loan amount, not included taxes, insurance, and HOA if that is applicable. So it's just going to show their payment without principal, interest, and all of those additional costs in their monthly payments. And that is also going to be listed here. That will match a section on the note as well. And I just point that out to them. That is all I'm doing. I am just pointing out, okay, this is your loan amount. This is your interest rate. Your first payment is due March 1st. And this is your monthly payments without principal, interest, and such. And then we move on. They do generally have a right to prepay. Sometimes they do not, but usually if they don't have a right to prepay, they already knew that beforehand. But I just point out that part, and I stop there. Most of the attorneys, when they're doing this, they go through when they can make their late payments. So then when I'm asked, and I'm like, part 6 is where it's going to tell you when your payment is due before it's considered late. And then it's also going to have the percentage that you're going to be paying for the overdue payment. That is also listed here. They tend to, they read over the rest and we sign here. This may vary, but almost 98% of the loan signings that I have done, my experience is that we don't date this. So I generally tell them not to date and that's just my first instinct. I hand them the paper and I say, do not put the date. And sometimes they say, well, it says date. And I'm like, let me see. And I'll look at it. It says date, then fine, date it. But most of the time it looks just like this. You just need their signature. Do you notarize this? I see this question a lot in groups. Is this a document that needs to be notarized? Not sure why one would think so. And the only reason why I say I'm not sure one would think so is because if it needed to be notarized, like most documents in a loan package that needs to be notarized is going to have your notarial certificate. And if you watch my other videos, if you do not know what a notarial certificate is, go back, watch those videos. I'll link them somewhere. And again, in a loan package, it's already going to be there. So that's why I say I don't know why people will ask. I know sometimes I've had signers say like seal, like as should I notarize this? And no, if I needed to notarize it, it would have had already the notarial certificate for me to fill in and sign. So you do not need to notarize this. If it does not say date, do not have them date it. That will get this kicked back. Or when they're looking through your scans for review, you're going to have to go back in and hopefully you took a copy or have access to print a new one if you dated this by accident. And this happens often. Before you hand them the paper, even if you got to write it on a sticky on top of it, tell them no date. I do this all the time. I just hand it to them and they just and do their thing before I even get the words out of my mouth and tell them not to sign or not to date it. They've already done it in the seconds. It's just taking me to fold the paper, hand over, done. It's dated, messed up. But thank goodness I generally have a copy, or I'm in the attorney's office and I just ask them to print a new one. But I try to keep it top of mind when I'm handing the note. Especially, I look at the page just to double check. Does this require a date? It does not require a date before I hand it to them, and I tell them not to date it. And even when I tell them not to date it, they may still date it. It's often the husbands. But yes, do not have them date it. Please tell them not to date it. Again, unless it says no date. Otherwise, sure, they can date it. But no date. If it's written like this, no date, you're not notarizing it. You are not notarizing. Now, in the event, I'm sure that if they wanted you to, they would put that certificate here. But generally speaking, in everything that I've done, this document is not notarized. I've notarized documents from North Carolina, Maryland, Florida is a top area that I do notarizations for. I've done Nevada. Where else? I've done a few Cali, things like that. So Obviously, I haven't seen all 50 states, but those are the ones that I've done, and I've never, and of course, a bunch of Jersey, and I've never seen this document be notarized. So don't let, because it says seal, throw you off. It's just a signature. That's your seal, is your signature. So don't let that throw you off. Or the fact that it says the witness, the hands and sealed of the undersigned. They are the undersigned. They are the borrowers. They are the people who are signing. That is it. That is all. Don't let the legal jargon fool you, mess with your head. You know when you need a notary certificate, it's going to be there. Or if someone's asking you to notarize something that doesn't have a certificate, you would add it. But no one's asking you to notarize the note, so you will not notarize the note. So, quick recap here. That's it. Quick, easy, painless. And again, we're not explaining anything. If someone wants further detail or a number is wrong, you can't change it. We generally also cannot cross it out unless you have permission. Anytime it's something on the loan documents, like the note or the mortgage, we are not allowed to cross it out. I know some signers feel like, oh, like that's just silly, but it will get rejected. I need permission in order to do that. And everybody works differently regarding making changes like that. Sometimes I've had a lender go, yeah, sure, because the front page they could just reprint out anyway, as long as we have the signature pages, they're Gucci. And other lenders, absolutely not. It's not happening. That's it. Signing done. Moot. Paper wasted. Trees have died for this, and we're not using the paper. So check in with who gave you the assignment, check in with the lender, check in with the title. It doesn't matter if you've done it 1,000 times. Everybody is different and may want something done differently. So I always double check in this case. If there's something messed up, I tell them don't correct it. We need permission first, because it will get kicked back and nobody wants that. So yeah, all of those things, like, this document needs to be done correctly. Again, it's generally needed for funding. With the closings that I've done, they need them for funding. So these I go over first and make sure that they are done appropriately. So to recap, this is the note. The note is the promise to repay. That's what I say when I hand it over to the signer. This is your promise to repay the loan. Oh, okay. That's it. This is your loan amount, correct? Yes. This is your interest rate, correct? We just went over when your monthly payments are due. I always pull out the payment letter as well, right? Your first payment is due March 1st. You have up until March 15th, which we can check down here at 6. You have until the 15th of the month to pay, and then these are your monthly payments without taxes, insurance, and yada yada yada, all that jazz. Does that match the CD and what you were told? Yes. Wonderful. Fantastic. We're signing. They have no questions. We don't have to call anybody. They sign. Just make sure they don't date. If it says no date, make sure that they don't date. And that's it. That's the note. Quick, easy, painless. The CD, the note, those two I bring together in a settlement statement. I'll go over that in another video, but those are definitely the top 2 documents that I pull out, and I make sure that the information is correct, we're signing them correctly, and we move on about the rest throughout the rest of the package. Because once you get past a certain, like, four documents or so, in my experience and how we roll in Jersey, everything else is just disclosures and doesn't matter too much to fund. But again, every lender is different. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Follow your girl. Share with your friends. Anyone that you might think will need this video because they are getting into the loan signing game, please share this with them. Thank you for watching, and come back to the next one.